What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Now, Deontay Wilder states that Wilder versus Ruiz fight is bigger than a fight between himself and Anthony Joshua. He explains. He says that he doesn't care if Anthony Joshua is beaten in his December 7th rematch against Andy Ruiz Jr. because he's going to face the winner of that fight either way. Further, he says that he thinks that a fight between him and Ruiz is a bigger match in the U.S. than a fight between him and Anthony Joshua. Now, of course, we know Ruiz's popularity has went through the roof. The question you ask yourself is, how far has it skyrocketed? He met the president. He's been on various talk shows. He's had a parade, and Wilder thinks that it will be a bigger fight than Joshua. Well, here's my question to Wilder. If he feels that Ruiz is bigger than himself and Joshua, why is Ruiz so popular now? You see what I'm saying? Like, who did he beat to become as popular as he was? Tyson Fury didn't do it. He didn't do it. Dillian White didn't do it. Any other heavyweight did not do that. Who did? Andy Ruiz. He beat Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was the cash cow. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's not, I don't think the idea. He says he's fighting the winner out of that fight. He's hoping and praying that it's Ruiz. He says it's going to be a bigger fight because even if Joshua loses, he thinks that would be the actual fight that would be bigger than the fight with him and Joshua. Now, here's the thing. It's hard to say that if Joshua gets beaten again by Ruiz, simply because we don't know the potential that a Joshua-Deontay fight, Wilder fight would have produced. We don't know what it could have produced. We do know that was millions and millions of dollars on the table for both fighters. We know that. Now, does he mean he's, as far as money? I doubt that. I very seriously doubt that. Wilder will not get $100 million. He will not get $50 million to fight Ruiz if Ruiz beats Joshua. I don't even know if he'll get 25. He might get 20. Ruiz might get 10. Heyman will take care of those two guys. They'll put it on pay-per-view, of course, and if it's an upside, which it should do well. That's why Errol Spence wanted to fight Mikey Garcia, because he knew Mikey Garcia had the fan base. Mexicans support their fighters. They do. It's a fact. If Ruiz beats Joshua, he becomes more popular, right? But how much popular does he become than Joshua at that point? Where does that leave Wilder? Depends on what Wilder does with Fury. What if Fury beats Wilder? Wilder is, I think he's shooting himself too early. This is a premature thing to say. Well, I think it'll be bigger. But like I tell you guys, this has everything to do with competition between Joshua. Anything to discredit Joshua is his main objective. And I think that is spawned from the idea of what Shelly Finkel said. Do you remember when Deontay Wilder announced that he was staying with Showtime and he was being loyal to Showtime, unlike everyone else? They asked him a various amount of questions about the deal and why. And Shelly Finkel stepped in. You remember that? And Deontay Wilder kind of looked at him for a second, And he stepped in, and one of the things in the statements that he said, you know what, I'm going to beat Joshua, and then you know what, Eddie Hearn Matchroom will go out of business. See, that's the objective. And what Shelly Finkel, and you haven't heard from Shelly Finkel in a while, because he figures that, you know what, my objective is complete with Eddie Hearn. Matchroom's going to be toast soon because Anthony Joshua, the star fighter, was defeated. So what is being fed to Wilder, that along with his ego, okay, is being fed to discredit any idea of a Joshua fight because they don't want to see a Joshua fight. See, a Joshua fight at this point, he could lose. Wilder could lose against Joshua. People still don't realize that. Andy Ruiz has a different fighting style than any of those guys. It was the style that gave Joshua problems that may give Joshua problems in the second fight, right? But what's apparent here is Wilder is not trying to credit himself, and he's further separating himself from the idea of fighting Joshua. So he's already creating a situation where the outcome hasn't been written yet. You know what I mean? And if he says, oh, well, Ruiz will be a bigger fight than Joshua, there's no way of really knowing that. But I doubt it. You know what I mean? Because now we have to base Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua in past tense. Why? Because that deal that was on the table is not a deal no more. He missed out on that deal. So what he's trying to do to save face, I believe this is serious damage control. Oh, well, it don't matter. I'm fighting the winner anyway, and Ruiz will be bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you're fighting the winner, why are you so hell-bent on saying that Ruiz and yourself will be better? Why? Because you're trying to compete with Anthony Joshua and his popularity and what he brought to that table. It's all about competition. Competition and separation. This is what this is clearly about. I'm better, I'm bigger, I want to be greater than Anthony Joshua. That's what he wants. It's a fixation. He talks more about Joshua more than anyone else. For one, at one point, he was wishing Joshua would win. But then I guess he figured, well, you know what? Ruiz is a Mexican American. So guess what? I think that he can bring in the Mexican fan base and these guys can sell, But then here's the thing. That fight will do well. But how big will it be or would have been than the Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder fight? Somewhere like Madison Square Garden, Mandalay Bay or wherever. That's the question you ask yourself. But I think that Deontay Wilder's overstepping himself until he sees the outcome first. But he is letting us know where he stands and what his desire is. His desire to fight Ruiz because it's an easier fight to make. It's a fight that he knows that he will be more than likely the A side. But then guess what? If he beats Joshua again, he's a unified champion. You know what? He could run into the same problems he did with Joshua now, wouldn't he? Why? Because Joshua was the unified champion of the world, or was. Now Ruiz is. If he beats him again, he is currently. But he will be and will continue to be the unified champion of the world. So how would that split work out? And, it's going to be so interesting to see if that happens. It'll be interesting to see what Deontay Wilder and Al Heyman and Ruiz come to agreement upon all the high-fiving and chest bumping that they did before. And Deontay Wilder's just happy that he didn't have to fight the motherfucker, right? But then he's going to realize that, the same way Ruiz started talking shit, being the wolf in sheep's clothing, he can turn around and do that shit with Deontay Wilder. A lot of people are not understanding that. Because he'll realize, hey, I'm the dude with the Mexican fan base. I'm the guy that's the unified champion. This motherfucker got one belt. You see what I mean? I want more money. I feel I'm the A side for the reasons I just explained. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to deal with if that happens. So with Deontay Wilder figuring I'm going to be the A side, I'm going to be the new Anthony Joshua, okay? And if he feels that he won't have those same problems with a guy on his team, he's sadly mistaken. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Deontay Wilder's comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.